right, kids, it's Mark Miller here with Rory on the phone with me. Rory, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mark. I'm good.
I said on the phone. He's on Skype. He's back at work today.
It's good.
He's been working from home for days, and due to COVID, and now he's back at work.
Back in the office.
New location. Do you have a decent view from the office, my friend?
I have a better view here. Yeah. Well, I say decent view. I've got daylight. It's nice and sunny. And we can open the whole front of office, like, you see bars that can open sort of whole sides onto the beach and stuff. I have a beach, but I've got, nice weather. So that's something.
That's cool. Fred's here with us. Fred, you okay, buddy? Okay. I'm going to take that as yes. He's okay. Let's jump over here to this scene right here. And let's get some music playing. Because,
we likes the music.
We like the music. Oh. This is the music that means I got to write code fast.
Oh, yeah.
And there's under pressure music, under pressure to write code. Here's what we're working on, kids. We're over here in the effects for on casting. And I want to, what we did yesterday was we got to a point where we could we could figure out the parameter tooltips based on where the caret was.
Nice.
So here we go, kind of some cool stuff happening here, right? So as I move to each parameter, I can see what it is, which already is, I realized that there were, I guess just before we did this, I realized we had problems where I had the wrong parameter passed in and something wasn't changing like I was expecting it to. Once I saw what was going on, with the parameters were incorrect, I was like, okay, let's fix it. So really good. The next thing I want to do, and we also added this. This one is actually really good here. The add sound and the quote, and then it's just going out to my disk where the sound files are and grabbing them. Now, notice though, we have one UI related problem here where the tooltip and IntelliSense, tooltip obscures the top entry of IntelliSense.
Yep.
See that right there?
Yeah.
So we got to do something with that. I think I'm just going to move it down below. That's what I think I'm going to do. The tooltip also that we could also, in fairness, we could put the tooltip above the line.
Might there be some cases where the tooltip data is more than one line itself and would still dive down into and collide with?
In the future, for sure. Right now, it's always only on one line. There's no wrapping on it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should fix this one first. Break out the drone swatter.
Surly Dev is in the house.
Surly Dev. Surly, no doubt feeling pretty defeated by my new machine's GPU. He used to be able to bring my machine down to its knees, the old one. And I was like, I really bought the machine just for Surly, to get back at Surly.
Yeah.
You're going to have to throw more at me, Surly. Mark was very smug yesterday. First time. First time since Surly's been watching the show. Yeah. Here he goes. He's going to, I think he's going to throw some seeds at us, is what I think he's going to do. So we got to fix this, I think. We got to take that and, or maybe this and move it down.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm feeling we got to do. Let's see how we're...
And almost as if for a response to the attempt to bring the machine to its knees, but honestly, nah, it didn't work.
You talking about this? Yeah, he did this yesterday.
Yeah.
Were you here yesterday?
I think maybe he and I high-fived on his way in and my way out.
Okay, yeah, he did this yesterday. The whole thing was flooded with flowers.
Deepwater's asking how's the new machine, and I think you can probably tell Deepwater from this, it's holding up pretty well.
Yeah,
Mark was throwing about some dice just before we went live, and when he says some, he means, a lot.
No, it was.
And there was no big deal.
Here, we'll do it right now. We'll show it to you. Well, let's throw out just a reasonable amount.
Check out the smooth.
A reasonable amount of dice. While all this is going on, let's throw out, I don't know, like say 45 D12s. With dragons running around. There you go. It doesn't look like 45. Do I have a limit on how many I'm throwing out? Maybe that's happening. 4. Yeah, it's less. It looks like 20 something. I think I have a limit on number of that I'm throwing out. That's what I'm throwing out. But you can see the animation's super smooth.
I think we can go, it's enough.
Right. The other thing that's happening now is I think by default I've got dynamic throttling. If I turn off dynamic throttling, do this, bring up the frames per second window so you can see that right there. Let's switch back over to the regular player view. Am I on it? It looks like I am. Why is because the chat stuff is all scrolling up over the back layer there. But if I turn that off, if I come in here and I just start maxing crazy stuff out here, doing this and this at 30 frames a second, come over here, test all damage. That's only a few guys. You can see frame rates pretty much right around 30 the whole time, which is cool. And again, I can come in, let's do it again. Let's throw as many dice as we can. 55. I think it's got a limit, a hard code limit on number of die I can throw out. Yeah, that's not 55. So that's it. Anyway, frames per second, holding steady at 30 on all the overlays. So very cool. Let's look at.
Suffice to say, the machine got this.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So we're here, and the thing I'm looking at now is this problem, where it brings up IntelliSense essentially right behind the tooltip. I need to figure that out. We need to look at the code. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not sure what's going on. Note, sound file completion editor. This guy right here is the thing we wrote yesterday with our imagined version of how it was going to hook itself up to the add sound method right here and then be able to do the sound file completion. Now we already have the code written, but it's in the wrong place, and we're trying to look at a more clever architecture so we can have pieces, the sound file completion editors all by itself over here, and we bind it to a specific parameter. This means it's the first parameter. I actually was looking this morning, Roy. I'm going to change this to the name of the parameter instead, is what I think I want to do.
Fair enough.
Because I think that that allows me to change the parameter order, but that doesn't allow me to change the name of the parameter, but I still think the binding makes sense. I think it's more flexible if I make it the name rather than the number. Because if I make it the number, I've got to change it in two different places. Unless I use a constant for this, which I could use. I'd have to use it here, and I'd have to use it also in add sound right here for the file name. I could do that. Or I could use a constant here, right, for this piece. I could use that in both places, and then that would allow me to rename it and everything would still work. Yeah, I'm not sure about that just yet. I'm not sure. It's not like, as with, I think, anything with coding, right? You get to a point where you're like, you've got multiple criteria for which you can decide success. And you kind of get to a point where you kind of will get a little bit of win in this criteria and a little bit of loss in the other, right? Where it kind of is going back and forth.
They've got competing desires.
Right, and with regards to what we're doing here, we're essentially building an app for one person to use. It's not something that's going to go into widespread use, and essentially it's an app that one person is maintaining, right? Yours truly. So I'm not as concerned about problems that might require a little more work to fix than I would be if I was working on this on a team, right? If I'm working on this on a team, I've got maybe new guys coming in, new developers coming in, and getting up to speed, and they might make a change that could result in a break to the code. And in that case, I would be much more defensive in my choices here.
At the same time, you do want to be making life as easy on yourself as possible for the future. So, you might not come back to a subsystem for a week, 2 weeks, or whatever. There might be no need to modify it. And then when you do come back, you want to be able to understand what was going on. So use of constants versus magic numbers is still always a useful thing for you. Yeah, so we can do some kind of change here to do this. At any rate, we're talking about it now. I guess if we did it, it would look something like this. It would be like my parameter constants. I'd create a class like this, parameter constants, and I would create a new, I would do like a QI here to create a new constant, and it would be
add sound underscore file name, like this, and file name number, like that. And that's going to be a 1, like this. And this is going to be a, it's going to be public, and this is going to be static, and we're going to get rid of that. And so I just do something like that. And then here, instead of having a 1, I would do this dot that, and I would do the same thing over here. And now I've got them bound together. And now I don't have any risk of anything moving. And it's not too much. It's hard. It's a little bit harder to read immediately, right? It's not clear that that's actually a 1, right? And I suppose I could rename it and to make it a little more clear, you know, or something like that. Have some sort of, you know, for example, convention like that, where I say what the number is on it, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know. But it's also one of those things like, is it really that big of a deal to essentially break the code if I reorder the parameter numbers, if I forget to put it in the other spot, is the question, right? Is it that big of a deal on this kind of a thing? Because what I lose is my tooltip. We're talking about a dev tool, not a mission critical.
True. Things will still function correctly.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, you know, it's always a question of, you know, how much work do we put in to solve this problem, you know, versus what's the anticipated benefit of that work. And I think the useful thing on this show is really more, let's talk about what the different constraints might be and what the different behaviors might be based on those constraints. And like I said, if this was something that was edited by a team, this is how I would do it. I would do something along these lines here, or alternatively, I would do this. I think it's really more along the lines of this is what I would do. I would do, change this to a string right here and set it equal to file name like this. I like this better. And now this becomes parameter constants dot this, and for readability, I'm going to come in and say parameters, I think is what I'm going to call it. So parameters dot add sound file name, and now I've got the name of it there. And now what I want to do is come back over here and do this instead, and go into my constructor for my parameter completion and change this type to a string and make it be parameter name, like that. I like this better.
There's definitely a more useful quality to this, because aside from anything else, a string parameter can have differences in it, like case, like spacing, like underscores and things like that, which will completely miss when a comparison is drawn between two versions.
Yeah.
However, when you're talking about just the index or the sort of the positional quality of said parameter, there's no confusing one and different versions of one. You know, you can put a constant around it going ONE and that's fine, but are you really gaining very much? There's few mistakes can be made there. Whereas when you're replacing a magic string as opposed to this magic number, there's a better quality of usefulness.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think I like this better. And then now my parameters are still 1, 2, 3, 4, so I can visually see that they're in the order in which I want them to be. And if I want to change the order, I can. I only change it here, and I break nothing. And that's kind of how I want to solve this. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll move this type to a file. And okay, so not bad.
The only thing I'd say is that that's a generic sounding class parameters for the add sound. Are you going to keep the parameters names for other commands in there as well?
Yeah, I'm going to call it parameter names just to make it a little less generic sounding.
So you're going to have the two constants for the two parameters for the add sound routine, but there's another 7 routines which will be their own constants.
I'm sorry, say that again? Yeah, there would be other routines in here. There would be other functions in here. Yeah, is the answer to that.
Here, I have.
Okay.
Hello, Jadisku. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jadisku, welcome. How you doing, buddy? Parameters to be clever. Yeah. All right. So parameter names, add sound file name. Good. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay. Now we started by saying, okay, let's take a look at the. Let's go get the main window here. And let's refresh our memory in how the code completion is coming up here. Raises the insertion request event. Okay. And then we have, there's a request insertion. I think we are, I think then we go into Avalon code. What's going on with my completion window? Where am I showing it? There we are right there. New completion window. All right, cool. So let's look at what happens. What's coming up first here when we're in this space? So when we're here, we've got that. So I think when the completion window comes up, when we do a show on the completion window right here, that's where I think we want to check to see if the tooltip is up. And if it is, see if we can move it down. That's what I want to try and do. By the way, I don't get this thing at the top of here. What is, it's just a, it's just a little size bar. It's a weird UI, this little thing right here, this piece up at the top, right? Not my favorite, but I don't have control of this right now, or apparently don't have control over it. All right, so I'm not going to save this this change. I'm going to close down because we're not running from Visual Studio. I want to debug this and get some runtime data to work with, figure out what code we want to write. All right, so it's starting up, compiling. All right. So add, we're going to do add sound again. Quote. All right, we're in here now. So let's see. If tooltip. Nope. Don't we have the tooltip window here? No tooltip in the text completion engine. Where's my tooltip? Please tell me it's not over here. Could be. If it is, yeah, there it is. It looks like I gotta move it. Parameter tooltip. Where's my call stack? Maybe I can pass it down as a parameter. Invoke completion if necessary. Text. This is the text entered. So that's just an event of the text area. So that's not going to help us. We can't pass any additional arguments down here. All right, let's go back to, let's put it down here then. I think we're going to have to stop everything and move that. It's okay because it really belongs elsewhere anyway. Let's cut that. Jump back. Let's cut, whoops, let's actually not cut both of those yet. Okay, so we want to put it down over here in our text completion engine. which is going to be there. All right, so let's go back. So everywhere there's that, I want to do this instead. Like that. Anywhere else we're referencing it? There we go. Okay, good. Now take these two. Come back over here. Pop them in there. Now tap to next reference. Oops. Let's get the right type in here that we need. And placement mode. We got a problem here with the placement target. Oh no, we don't. Look at this. Our constructor right down below. It's right behind Fred here.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
That is what's going to save us. Okay, good. All right, now if I tap the next reference, we should go back out and everything should look good. Now we've moved that parameter tooltip down, which is where we want to be. Then I think we can run again. Do I have that breakpoint still in here? Nope, wrong place. There it is, right there. Okay. Let's run it. Initialize player data. All right, let's get over to the code. Add sound. And now, here we go. Well, I don't think the tooltip's up right now. The tooltip's not up. I'm just going to run it. The tooltip's not up yet because we didn't move into it. Now if we move into it, in other words, we got it, the tooltip did not come up when we completed it.
That's right. So as you generate
No
circumstances without moving into circumstances, you don't generate that information. It's only through navigation at the moment that that's happening.
So let's fix that first, because when we complete, I want that to work. So let's go find where that is. Text completion engine, complete identifier. Is that it?
I think we fixed it by adding a comma, but we didn't add an open bracket as our most recently hit character, which would also be...
There's no, the thing is, there's no open bracket character that's being added by the person who's it's in the code.
Ah, true.
Right? It's being automatically added. I got to find that completion is what I got to do. Let me go look at see if I can find completion. Something data. Here we go. File folder function completion data. This is where it's added here. Okay. Yep. I think.
Got a command to show tooltip.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. I love that you were like there, Rory, because I was thinking, yeah.
I've seen this pattern of behavior before.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's close it. We're going to close this down and restart it here. So we're going to show the caret there. We're going to say there's the caret, and then we're going to say show tooltip right there is what we're going to do. That's going to put that command in to show the tooltip. Now, we haven't tested two commands back to back, but our code to separate should work to do all this, right? To break down, parse the line between text and text commands. So now we got to go find the caret command. Let's go find that, and we're going to create a new command. No. I want the other descendant of this code completion command. I want this. Let's duplicate all of that. And we're going to call this the show tooltip command now. And let's rename it to that. It's going to be a position saver as well. And when expansion is complete, well, wait, do we need it to be a position saver? I don't think so, actually.
We're not going to be modifying anything about where you're at.
It's just an iText command implementer is all it is. We don't need to know any of this. We just need to come in and say, we need to do something like this. Look, if it's main window like we did before, we're going to come in and say invoke tooltip, code tooltip, like that. Okay, that's going to be, what's my problem here? iText command, oh. The ancestor.
You got 2 Ds in there.
Oh, okay. But I still think the problem is that the ancestor class implemented some stuff that we don't, that we have not implemented. So, for example, iText command is what? It's got execute and expansion complete. That's what we need. Let's go back over here.
So we don't actually have an execute.
Hold on a second. Let me implement the interface, see what it gives us. Yeah, we don't have the execute. So we're going to do this instead. Okay, like that. I'm going to.
Don't we need both in order to meet the needs of the text command, also the interface?
Oh, sorry. There, just not override.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Invoke code completion. Let's jump out there. Do the same kind of thing here. Good. Copy that. By the way, I was talking to the devs yesterday about improving duplicate selection.
Okay.
And one of the things we were talking about was using machine learning to get it even smarter. And I was thinking,
Okay.
oh, okay, cool. What's character left here? What is that thing? Oh, it's character to the left of the where we are.
Yeah.
I don't actually think we maybe need that parameter. Character left. Let me just look at that one more time.
So in our initial expansion, we expect that to be an open parenthesis.
Oh, it's just saying what the character is to the left. Yeah, I definitely don't need that. Okay, so we're going to not have that. And now we're going to clear this somewhere. Finally, we're down here now. How do we show the tooltip? Where do we show parameter tooltip? Here we go. We need to extract this. Show parameter tooltip if necessary. What's going on with that? Oh, I have
It's a little bit.
It's this. It's defined. See that?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay. If necessary. Something like that. So now I've got show parameter tooltip if necessary. Let's hit escape to jump back to where we were. And let's get rid of this and replace it with that. And kill this. What's wrong? What's wrong? Is it, what am I in two different places? Hold on, where's that coming from? I'm in two different places. I was in main window. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I didn't need to go all the way down. All right, that's fine. I can do that too. So let's go back to where we were, invoke code tooltip, come back over here. Where's this thing called from? We're just going to go right to there. is what we're going to do. Let's make it public. Okay. Escape to get back. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this one either down here. Let's go down and kill that. Okay. And nobody's calling that, so we'll kill that. All right, I think we got it. I think we got the fix to the first part, which is when we expand and put parens in, the tooltip will show.
Yeah.
All right, we're up and running. Click initialize player data. All right, so come down here and say add, come on, where am I? There, okay? So fix number 1 is in, right? We are there, the tooltip is up. One more time, add dice. Tooltip is up. Okay, cool. All right, so there's add sound. Now when we do this, that's the next point. Now we're at the break point. So what we want to do is say, hey, look, if my parameter tooltip dot is open, then I want to come down and say completion window dot top. Cool. Plus equals to, do I have the height of this thing? All right, let's see if that works. Let's step through that. See what values we get here. Right now my top is -867 and my height is, uh-oh, not a number. That's not my favorite thing. What's actual height going to be? There we go. We use actual height, not height. All right, run it. Okay, so one more time, let's see if we can, let's move in, bring it up, now do this. It didn't move. Oh, no, wait, it did. It did, it totally moved it. It's now down underneath there, so we can see it. BI, there you go, so now you can see the top. Cool. All right, that kind of works. That works for me. Also, cool, notice that we also got the other hint to drop down as well. This one right over here. Right over in that space there. That's also dropped down automatically because it's just lining up with this one that's selected, it appears. Let's try again. Well, it's lining up at the top. Oh, but wait, hold on. What happened now?
That's different. Yeah.
So wait, I think the tooltip, so there, the tooltip was up first, but I think what happened is I moved in, hit the quote before the tooltip appeared. I was trying to do it.
It's almost like you had some kind of race condition that caused the IntelliSense to come up first. The completion is there first, and then additionally caused the tooltip to come up after the fact. And whilst the code completion will avoid the tooltip will not avoid code completion.
So here's exactly. That's kind of what I just got it a second time. I'm not sure how I did it. Oh, I think try this. Paste. So now I've just pasted and I don't have the tooltip. Then I hit the quote. At least now we can. Oh, and I still don't have it, but now let's arrow left or right.
If you navigate, then
that didn't work.
Navigate right instead next time.
I will. All right, one more time. Paste, quote, right. No. Let's get a second space in here. Hold on. No, like this. Paste. Wait, hold on. Here we go. Space, quote, right, left. No. All right. But I'd like to reproduce this. And now left. There. If I type something in, then I can get it. Okay, so now that's the reproducible case right there. Okay, so it goes. Let's get out of here. Here, typing anything in. Oh, look at this. There's an entry that's hidden. Our code should stop that from happening. Okay, R. We are not getting down here. Complete sound path. We're not getting there either. Let's try it. Let's see what's going on here. We're not getting there. Okay. We call this if there's a quote pressed. Okay. Okay. Complete identifier? We wouldn't be getting in here, are we? I don't think we're getting there. We are. Okay, we got kind of the same show call here. Let's extract this. Let's extract all of this to show completion window. Come on, where's my caps lock? There it is, show completion window. I feel like one day I should go and calculate the cost of caps lock, worldwide global cost in terms of lost productivity. All right, so here we're going to do the same thing. Show completion window here, like that. Good. And then now we've got this one place here in both places where we're calling it. What's happening here? Something captured. It doesn't look good. Yeah, ceasing to capture this. All right. Restarting. Initialize player data. Here we are. All right, add sound. I think we can, let's just try running it. I feel like it's gonna work. R and then back and R, I, what other, there we go. Now it's down below. I think we fixed it, is what I think we did. I'm gonna say that feels like it's fixed. Okay, we still might have the other problem that you're talking about, where somehow the tooltip is not up and IntelliSense is up. I'm not sure how to get that tooltip down now at this point. What if I did that? Oh, there I got it down. So now let's change it R, E, and now move left. There's the second button.
There you go.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I can delete and then kind of work out in that space. So now when we want to bring that tooltip up, where's my show parameter tooltip is open. Let's go find that. Here's the open. And so now what we want to do is say, hey, if text completion engine dot, how are we going to get that thing? Maybe it's not there. Where is the, what's the completion window? Where is that? I think I want to turn this into a property is what I think I want to do. Let's encapsulate that field. We're running. So now we're going to say if completion window is not null. And, you know, some of this, by the way, is this feels like it's all begging to go inside a method inside of text completion engine. Is what this is looking like. It's begging to do. It's in the wrong place. Is what it feels like. All right. The text completion window is not null. Do I have an is open here? I've got an is active. All right. Maybe that's, or maybe the visibility is what we want to check on, but something there. Let's just set a breakpoint here. See if we can get in here using that trick to duplicate it. All right. We're up. Initialize player data. Hide scroll. Cornelia. Code. Add sound. There we go. R. That's all good. Come out. Backspace in. And now E. And now left arrow. Huh. Maybe it's not the left arrow.
Well, we've no longer got the quote mark, so we can't be using the completion with this.
How did I lose that? I'm not sure what happened with that. Okay. RE. Let's get outside here. Sorry, outside, come back in. FI. Oh yeah, I need to get all the way back to the quote. All right, there we go. And now S and then left arrow. No breakpoint. So it's is active is not what I want. What's going on? Well, now we've got it at null. I need a second breakpoint. That's what it looks like I need. I need my breakpoint here. That's what I need. Let's see what's going on. Okay, let's do it again. All right. So there, that, R, back, RE, and then left arrow. Nope, it got rid of it. Why did that happen? Okay, back in. Sorry, there, back in. No. Well, at least now we can figure out what the property is. We're here, and maybe it's just, so is active is false. Right? Yeah, there it is right there. Is enabled is true. Is focused is false. Is there any, is visible is true? Maybe we just do that. Is visible. Then we want to come in and we want to say, hey, the text completion window dot top plus equals. Now we just got to make sure dot actual height like that. We just got to make sure we don't keep doing this, moving this down and moving this down. It's almost like we want to check to see what's my parameter tooltip top. This is 867. What's my parameter tooltip top? Yeah. Oops. Is it also 867? Wouldn't that be nice? There's no top property here. Why don't I have a position on the parameter tooltip? I thought I moved it. I added code to move it down. Didn't I assign the top property to it? Down in here? Oh, completion window. Oh.
Completion window was moved in response to the tooltip.
The horizontal offset is the location of it. It's the vertical offset. 86 is what's going on there. Okay, so we'll just say plus actual height. And I'm hoping that we don't kind of keep moving this down, right, as the parameter tooltip, right? That it might be that we keep moving it down. So let's see if we can now kind of duplicate this again. Add sound. There we go. Bring this in. RE. Nope. FI. Okay. Move right. Backspace. FIR. Nope. Come on. How did I get this? I have to go all the way back to here. I'm not remembering how I got that. Add sound. Right. Delete. Yeah, I'm not bringing it back up again.
So the code completion comes up when you type something and you've got a quote on the left. You want to bring up the tooltip first. No, you don't. You want to now cause the tooltip to come up afterwards.
Yeah.
Triggering the necessity of moving.
Oh.
There you go.
That did it.
And that worked.
I just had to move left. Okay, so not bad. And then once we do this, so that's good. So we fixed that. It's a little tricky to do, but it definitely improves usability, right? Instead of blocking this.
Yeah.
Is this thing resizable? We're good.
It is. I'm still wondering, like you were, what that thing at the top of the completion list is.
Yeah, it's not weird. Let's go look
Weird
at.
kind of grip mechanic. Is it? Can you move it using it as well?
I don't know. Let's check it out. It's quote. All right. So let's see. Can I move it? I'm clicking on it. There we go. So I can do this. I double clicked it and it went to the top, double clicked it, went to the bottom, back over here. I can't drag it. It's only a resizing piece is what it is. What's interesting about it is I've already got one on the bottom. So I don't quite get this, but maybe it's just to reposition it so things are out of the way. Maybe that's what it is. All right, I'm okay with that. Like I say, it's not a product for sale. It's not, I don't have to make it perfect for millions of people. I just have to make it useful for me. Okay, good. All right, next. Now time for the architectural change here. So right now, when we come in and do the quote here, we've got a very dedicated bit of code executing that fills this with all of the files, the MP3 files from the folder we're interested in, and all of the folders as well. So we can double click on, like, say, for example, coins, and then see the different coin sounds that are inside of there. And we can do that. What I want to do is I want to make this, I want to refactor the code so that sound file completion, where's this located? Where did I put this? Template engine. Okay. That's in the main app up here. So I've got the sound. Where's my sound file completion? I don't see it there. There we go. That's not there, so that needs to be moved up. All right, I'm gonna close. Drag it up. And in fact, I'm gonna add a new folder in here. And I'm gonna call this completion. Maybe code completion. And we're gonna put those pieces up there.
I only just noticed this. I'm not sure if it only just happened, but tail learn code is raiding.
Yes.
Welcome.
No, it happened a few moments ago.
Missing if I did.
No, you know what? That was my fault too. I was so focused in the code, I forgot to welcome everybody. Well, welcome everybody from Tail Learn Code. Here's your party music. Oh, you know what? Party music isn't working with the button because we just shut down the app. But that's okay. I get it for you. Here. I went to Mark Miller's School of Dancing. By the way, you always look better dancing with flames on either side. Hey, look who's here. Just in time. It's a party. By the way, Rory, I don't think you were with us when we built this. Welcome, Jetsam. I didn't know if you... Uh-oh. Hold on. Got to get to the right machine. There we go. Missed call. Oh, man. Hold on. Let's try it again. Sorry about that, Rory.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. I had to rush to the right machine. I have like I have a KVM switch with 4 possibilities, and I was trying to find the right one. So anyway, welcome Jetsam. Welcome everybody from Tail Learn Code. How was your stream over there, kids? What'd you guys do? Seems like I had something I was going to talk about, and I don't know what it is. But we're in the middle of doing some refactoring. We're creating code completion for a C# script editor. That's what we're working on, and we're refactoring because we want to be able to make code completion elements to plug in much easier. That's what we want to do. So let's see.
The current logic of this is it actually just does a search on the preceding string for the name of a specific function in order to then decide to give you help with your file name searching for sounds.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So
It's a little bit janky.
Yeah, super janky with regards to the code, right? Look at this code. This is my text completion engine. I've got this called a complete sound path here, which is triggered here. And it's just the whole thing is like, janky, I guess we'll call it. We'll use the janky word here, even though I typically use that for, stuttery kind of animations. But yeah, it's not great. What we want to do is fix this. We want to improve the UI. So to do that, improve the UI, I meant improve the usability of this code. So the code is easier to read, so it's cleaner, because this is just going to become a mess, right, if we keep doing this. So I'm okay with this line of code, but now what I want to do is something like this, else, and then I want to do I want to get a list of something. And the things I want to do is I want to create a new class, I think. And the class is going to be my completion extension, completion provider. That's what it's going to be. Let me just copy that clipboard. I don't know what's inside there yet. What?
Trying to tell me something.
It's always important to stop that just at the right time. That's the party command. You see that, Rory? You can use that. I was going to tell you. You can use that when you got to leave, because that's what happens.
I see.
I'm not saying we have a party when you go, but
No.
I'm not saying that that's when the code gets really, really good. But sometimes that happens. Rory's got to leave sometimes. He leaves before we finish.
I love both the music and the flame effects. They're very good.
Yeah, that's actually came from the Dungeons and Dragons show. But it's so much fun. We're using it here. I'm gonna maybe make something to make it automatically come up for the raid. So we need to have in our text completion engine. We need to have a new list of those things that are on the clipboard, those completion providers, and we'll call it this completion providers like that. And now what I want to do is I want to say, hey, for each. And what I love about the code we're writing right now is it's very client-centric code. And when I say client-centric, I mean the developer who's going to consume this code is essentially writing it right now. We don't have the class built yet. So we don't have the class built. So what we're going to do is let's come in here and we're going to say, so for each one, we're going to say, hey, if completion provider dot should complete, I think, and we're going to pass in the last key pressed. And what does expecting sound path need to calculate? It needs TBX code, and it needs some other functions in here as well. We'll figure that out in a second. I think I'm going to create some extension methods for this class, the document class, that's the text document class that comes with Avalon Edit, because it's going to clean up some of this code here. So we're going to now pass in should complete. We're going to pass in the hold on, should complete. Expected sound path. Sorry, hold on. It needs the area and the document. I kind of don't want to pass this in. I want to pass in the area. And actually, believe it or not, from the area, you can get the document. And I think from the document, you can get the area. I think it's kind of nicely done here. Let's see if we can find text area in here. Text area. We can't. But from text area, we can definitely get the document. From here, we can go to document. There it is right there. So maybe we'll just pass in the text area. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So we'll pass in that. Should complete. So that's going to be my yes or no. No, I'm trying to focus on the code. Really not cool to dump pudding on me. Why? Why today, pudding? Why now?
The universal solution.
Pudding's like, I know what this code needs.
More cowbell?
More cowbell. Absolutely more cowbell. Dumping a vat of pudding on Mark is the right thing to do right now. I agree with Mr. Announcer guy. It's okay. Just dump pudding on it to fix it. That's the best answer to everything. Why not? Says pudding. All right. So now we're going to say complete. And let's go see what... So there's the complete call. And let's see what complete sound path need. They need a text area. They use the document, which we can get from the text area. I'm just scanning. What else do we need? Uh-oh. Completion window. That's here local. Show completion window. We're going to have to do something there. Okay, we got some refactoring we're going to have to do. It's a little meatier than I was anticipating. I think this is going to have to return a completion window. This all can go in there and fill up. The show completion window, I kind of want to do this. I want to make this a parameter. Right here, like that. This is going to make it a little cleaner, I think, if we make that a parameter and pass that in there. Okay. We have another call to show completion window? We do. Right here. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back into... We're going to say completion window is equal to code completion provider dot complete. It needs to get the text area as well. We saw that. And I think that's it. Does it need last key pressed at all? Well, I don't think so. I'm going to say it does not. So that's going to replace this code right there. And the cool thing about this is that instead of this code going, really, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger,
yep.
It's not going to do that.
That's because every item in your list is now going to be in a list rather than, just piece after piece after piece in the same code. So each one of them gets to sit in their own file.
Yeah.
And the context about them is more unique to their situation, which makes it easier. You find the thing you want to talk about. You don't have to wade through a huge switch statement or a huge if statement. You just go to the file you want, make the changes there.
Yeah. Now there's something I should point out in that. No, wait. I think I'm okay. I was anticipating a problem, but I just kind of think I worked a way around that. All right, so let's come in here. Let's declare this, declare that method. There we go. We'll come back in a second, implement it. Let's declare this as well. Right there. Good. Let's jump back down to where we were. Expecting sound path. Let's go find that. Why am I not finding it any more than that? There it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to make these abstract.
Okay.
Oh, well, maybe I just make them an interface. I think I'm making them an interface. Yeah, let's make it an interface. All right, extract interface. There it is right there. Perfect. Just what I want. Implements that. This is going to be an abstract class. And there's my completion provider. Let's move type to file. Let's create a descendant of this. Do I have a declare descendant? I think I don't have that in Coders yet. Okay, no worries. Just copy that to the clipboard. Type in C plus the slash. It's going to take what's on the clipboard and make it my ancestor class. Now I want to call this a I'm thinking about the triggering of the single key. Character trigger provider. And it is going to have a it's going to have a property of type string. It's going to be trigger key. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to make it a string because the piece passed in is a string, and I'm going to, you know, even though it's probably never going to happen. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it a string. I don't have a great, you know, I could change it to a char. But I'm going to keep it a string for now. All right. Yeah, no, I'm going crazy on this. My mind is like, can't handle that. So there's char there. We're going to change this to a char as well. TC, I think we'll give that to me. Okay, should complete. Let's change this. Last key pressed. Of 0. Okay. All right. So back over here, character trigger provider. Let's implement the interface. And should complete. We're going to say return last key pressed is equal to trigger key. I think is that all we need to do? That's, I think, all we need to do for this implementation. For the sound provider, we're going to need to do something else. Complete, I don't think we're going to do anything here. So we're going to still make this abstract. Okay, there we go. We're working on it. All right, now I'm copying that to clipboard. Let's take this, move this type to file. What's my problem here? Oh, we forgot to rename this, change the type up here.
Gotcha.
Okay, there it is right there. Okay, good. Tab to next reference here is going to get me out to the character trigger provider. I want to create a descendant of this now. This is going to be my I'm going to be file completion provider. So I'm still I'm creating a class. I still haven't quite got to the sound file piece yet. But here I want to create something called extension. Pudding says there's enough pudding for everyone. Mr. Smoopy's here. Hi, Mr. Smoopy. Disaster of Puppets is here. Hello. Welcome. All right, there's my extension right there. And I want to have like my base folder. Base folder. And maybe a Boolean that says allow subfolders. So this is code provider is just going to allow me to go into folders if that's set to true.
Yeah.
Okay. The extension is going to be like star.mp3. What extensions are valid, and the base folder is going to be what folder we're going to grab these things from. This is also abstract, but it's going to get these pieces here. Now, with regards to completion, maybe it's not abstract. We could just specify these here and it will just work. The file completion provider. Let's go ahead and implement the abstract class there. We've got our complete right there. We've got our trigger key up here. Doesn't like subfolders. Spell checker saying wants me to do this. All right. Okay. File completion provider, move it to its own file. And now I want to create a new instance of it. We haven't finished the complete, and we actually need another override. PUB gives me public, and OV gives me override, and the spacebar gives me IntelliSense. All right. There's my base here. Now we want to go back to not there. Where were we? Text completion engine. All right. Expecting sound path. We kind of want to look at this. This is the crappy code, the bad code, the hacky code, where we're getting the line left of where we are and looking specifically if the line left contains add sound.
Okay. So when we talked about this before, we suggested perhaps instead of looking at the line of code that we were on, we should look at the method that in theory was going to be invoked when we execute this line, look specifically at the parameter that represents where we are currently, and look at some attribute of that parameter that determines this is a sound file.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. So let's do that. Let's grab this. Let's come back over to should complete. The base of should complete is going to see if the last key press is equal to the trigger key. So what I think I really want is something like this that says, at least at the beginning, say, hey, if not base dot should complete, then return false.
Okay.
Okay. So we got to at least match the trigger key. Text area is coming in here like this. Text area dot document is there. Get line left, we need to fix that. And what I think, let's start moving these over. So get line left of, we need, I want to move these into an extension class on document is what I want to do. So let's go take that and let's at least start with this one. And we'll create this new class. It's going to be static. It's going to be called text document extensions. Like that. These are going to be my extension methods. Static class. By the way, I could have done that. It was simpler with CodeRush just by typing in an uppercase C. Uppercase letter gives you static. And if I didn't want that constructor, I could have done an uppercase C and a comma at the end of it, like that, and it would have given me just that. So a couple different ways to do that. All right, so let's bring this over into here. We want this to be public. And we want to say this, like this, here. And I think that's created our extension on it. Get line left of, we need to go find this everywhere. Do search, do the whole solution. And we're going to now change this up a bit. So we're going to say text document dot get line left of. Like that. Okay, good.
Much nicer.
Yeah, it's nicer. And it's going to get better in other places too. Right, like that, because we're also going to add a whole bunch of extension methods like get the call, get the calling parameter, or the calling method, I mean. We're about to do that. So let's get these. See what else we got down here in our find here. expecting sound path. We're going to move this over in a bit. Yeah, that's a pretty healthy bit of refactoring we're doing here today.
That's nice.
We got that one already. Get line left of. This one we don't have. Okay. Get them all. There's that one, that one, that one. Can I just do this up and down? Oh, I can. Nice. Good job, guys. Visual Studio team. All right, that's it. We got them all, right? Nope, there's that one, and that one's good. All right. Good, 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 good. All right, so get line left of is done. Let's see where we are here. File completion. So should complete is here. I think we need a couple more parameters. We need a parameter that's going to be the method name and another one called the parameter name. Or that should maybe be up above, way up above, in the completion provider. Here. Because we need to know for a completion provider what method. Is that true? No, no, no. Hold on. I think I want to call it provider name. So this is my new idea here. Provider name.
Right, so your provider is going to have an identity that describes its purpose. And then in the parameter itself, you're going to say, I need something that does this.
Right, and now I'm kind of thinking about, so we started this thing by looking at, where is it? It's Sound File Completion Editor. We were looking at something like this, where we would specify parameter completion in this way, right? And now I'm thinking, even though this is valid and could work, I'm kind of thinking about turning this thing on its head and coming back down into expressions functions. Here's add sound. I'm thinking about putting that provider name in here as one of the parameters to param.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about.
That sounds pretty reasonable. Because what you're doing then is you're declaring, well, here's the name of the parameter, but also here is the type of the parameter. Well, not so much the type of the parameter, but the implicit metadata associated with it in order to get you to the correct editor.
Now,
the correct completion.
The problem is we're about to do a massive test of CodeRush here right now. So, you know, CodeRush reputation is totally on the line in what we're about to do. The problem is that I have maybe at least 50 of these param calls that are out here, right? If we come in here into parameter attribute and we hit Shift F12, whoops, there it is right there, Shift F12 to bring up, find all references on it, all usages, you've got 92 items.
That's a fair number.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want CodeRush to come in and I want to use add parameter right here, and I want CodeRush to pretty much nail it for me.
Because we don't want to have to edit 92 files manually. That's boring.
Right. Or I have another option. Part of the problem is I've got these optional parameters right here, right? Or at least one at the end. So if I add another, I can't really add a parameter after this, because then now I've got to specify that it's required or not. You know what? Actually, I could do this. I could just take this off and fix it. Let's start with that. I'm going to take this off and make that required. Okay, and then the last parameter we're going to put in, we'll add it later, is going to be, I'll make that one optional, and I won't actually use CodeRush to go change them all. So I said it was going to be a massive CodeRush test, but now I think I'm changing it because of what my needs are. But this now means that we need to say parameter.required anywhere that's not out there, right, like this. And that might take a moment to do. Let's get a couple things on the clipboard. Let's get this whole thing on the clipboard. And so now when we find it, we'll just backspace twice and paste. Backspace twice and paste. Okay. Oops, we already had that one there.
Welcome, Coding Gorilla, who asks, is there not a refactoring for promoting an optional parameter to a required parameter?
There is not. There's not. This is something okay, here we go. It looks like we circled all the way around. Let's do a build and see what happens. Oh, looks like I didn't circle all the way around. What? Where am I there? Output errors here. Let's pin this so it doesn't go away. Let's get rid of that. I can almost do this with a regular expression string, which occurs to me like maybe too late, right? The kind of sad thing about this is I'm not using this yet. This data is just data I added because I was thinking, yeah, I think it might be useful. Not yet doing it. Let's turn off our warnings so we're not seeing our warnings. Almost done. Come on, double click. All right. Not all code paths return a value. Let's unpin this. We're down to here now. Let's return just simply an R null. Right there, return null. Let's do another build just to make sure we're good. Yeah, Coding Gorilla, I think that would be useful sometimes, right? Convert optional parameter to required. But the problem is it's, yeah, I think optional parameter required. It's, I think, rarely used. This is like the first time I felt like I ever needed that in my life. And gosh, a refactoring would have been great right there. But, you know, to have a bunch of devs work on that for what seems to be likely a low use feature, infrequently used feature, seems to make sense to put the devs on the features that they're going to be using more of. Okay, so build succeeded. Fred, you good? Fred can't tell us if he's good or not because the app's not running. I'm going to infer that Fred is good. Let's go back over. So we're gonna change. I just opened a bunch of files up here, but we want to go to in our code completion. Is that where we are? Let me where? I'm just going to be, I left a bunch of markers at params. Let me just jump back. Here we go, parameter attribute. So here's where I'm going to add the new one, and I'm just going to come in here, and so this is going to be my editor, and I'm going to set it equal to null, like that. It's going to be the name of the editor. I'm going to hit the code rush key here. Actually, I think I have a binding to it. Yeah, like that. But I've got a binding to a key that I added there. Editor, right there. So now we can go over to the add sound, and in this last parameter here, we're going to add the name of the sound editor. And so I think I want to change this. Yeah, no, let's do this. We're going to come in here. We're going to create something very similar to it. Call it editor names. Hold on. I think I saw a code rush issue I want to report. Let's see if I can duplicate it. Yep, I can duplicate it. All right. Select this duplicate line. Let's get the code rush issue reported. So here we go, kids. Duplicate selection. I've got a static class. I'm selecting it. I duplicate it, and it's given me as the field the entire class. I'm expecting it to give me the field of like this, right? The class name. That's what I'm looking for there. That's the issue. You know what's really kind of weird? Hold on, let me come up here. Let me do this. So this text you're seeing, Pat, come in here. I used to be able to enter that into the chat room, but now I've got the chat inside of OBS, and it will not take keystrokes sent to it from the outside world. So we're going to say, we'll call it duplicate static class. All right, there we go. There's the issue. Okay, so we're going to call this editor names. And we're going to call this the sound file editor. Editor names.sound file. These are completion provider names. And so we're going to call this I think it could just be sound file. That's okay with me. Move type to file. Copy that to clipboard. Come back over here. And now we're going to come in here and pass in sound file. Okay? So now we've got that. So now it doesn't matter what the method call is. We just need to know what parameter we're in. We need to find its tooltip, the parameter attribute. Get the attribute, check to see if it's got a completion provider. If it is, go get the completion provider. Now we have to create a completion provider as well.
We did.
Now, we've been refactoring like crazy. I got files all over the place. I should have made a mental note. Look at this. We had no files open when we started this, by the way. let's maybe close some stuff down here.
So there is a piece of UI related to source control that will show you a similar kind of view. You can certainly jump between files, but it only shows you files that have been modified or have been staged ready for committing to Git. So rather than looking at the entire solution, you can call that up and just look at that subset of files.
Well, this is the subset of files I've modified, because these are all the ones I brought in because of all of the changes we had to make. So it's mostly all the functions is what it is. Let's go.
Although this set of files, would it not also include anything that you had tab10x reference through, so anything that was opened at all?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the one I'm talking about is purely those that have been modified in some way.
Yeah, no, I still think this, the Venn diagram is a whole circle. That's what I think it is. Yeah, because we're kind of far away. Let's go over to text completion engine. Let's just do this. Let's close all but this. Kind of work our way backwards on this whole thing. See if we can find our way out of this. I'm looking for that for loop, which I think is here. Yeah, there it is right there. So there's that. We need to add some completion providers. This is kind of where I want to be. So I want to create a new method called create completion providers. Like that. Ooh. We just had a coderush bug. Let me get that one in here too as well. I just typed in M for method. Just roll back a little bit. Came into here. I didn't need anything, so I hit enter, and it gave me, it actually entered it rather than getting me down inside here, which is what I'm expecting. Hit enter a second time, and it gives me that. I bet I can't reproduce it. Now let's try it. Create completion providers. Hopefully the log's going to tell you something. Enter, enter. Oh, I did it again. Look at the log. What's going on with that? Enter, enter. Yeah, it's reproducing like crazy. Go look at the log. See what's going on with that. That should totally not add an enter there. It should know that it's inside of a field. Let's try one more thing though. Let me close down the file and let's go find it again. What was it? Text completion providers? Is that what we had up? Text completion engine. Let's see if that's the right one. Oh, it's in main window. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. It's not the file. I wanted this file right here. Okay. And I wanted to come in. Let's try it one more time. Enter, enter. Yeah, it's not reproducible now. One more time. Enter. Now that's weird. It took a long time to get rid of the field over here. And enter.
In your previous recreations, Mark, you did overtype the method name.
I also got it once without overtyping it.
Okay.
So my understanding is when that happens, there's a synchronization issue between Visual Studio and CodeRush, where CodeRush doesn't think it is where it is. And I think the log files may have that data. Guys, if the log files do not have that data, I want you to get the data in the log files. Yeah. So closing the file and reopening it makes it no longer reproducible. Okay, so let's do this. The issue. We're going to say text field accepted and enter key. Okay. Yeah, real weird that the chat window that's inside the stream, here, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This right here doesn't accept keys sent to it by Stream Deck, right? You'd think that would, Stream Deck, if it was going to do something like that, it would do that. Yeah, Coding Gorilla, I missed a comment from Coding Gorilla earlier, talking about the refactoring for promoting an optional parameter to a required parameter. Seems like such an obvious refactoring, but neither VS nor Sharper nor CodeRush have it. Yeah, nobody's got that, and I think because anticipated low level of usage. So what's the bang for the buck that we can get with our developer work here? Okay, let's see if I can regroup and get back to what we were building here. I got an initialize create completion providers. We need to call this from, I think, our constructor in here. Let's take this, move this out to its own file. Where are we here? Text completion engine, where are you stored? That's not in the right place. Let's go move this up. Template engine. Fred, you okay, buddy? You on fire? Fred should be okay. All right. Looks like Roy's got to leave.
Yeah, I was thinking it's not the most subtle way of announcing the fact, is it?
Pudding's like, wait. I thought Roy was gone from that fanfare. Yeah, we do that after you leave, Roy. Jesse says, I think it's perfect. Pudding says, wow. Yeah, that's we do that. Yeah, you're kicking Rory out. That's right, Rory. Get out of here.
He's waiting till I leave. He's slamming the door shut, and then the party kicks off.
Yeah.
Hey ho.
That's a part of music. Thanks so much, Rory. We'll see you tomorrow, right?
No problem. Absolutely, yes. Wouldn't miss it.
We are not telling Rory. Don't worry, Jet. Some secrets just between us. Mm-hmm. Not, publicly available on the stream for the video on demand.
Too hot for streams.
Yeah, that's right. All right, buddy.
All right, bud.
Have
See
a
you
good
tomorrow.
Day. Rest of your day. All right, bye-bye. All right. Text document extensions. All right. Let's bring this over here. And where's my constructor? There it is, right there. Now I want to call create code completion providers. Then I want down in here, where are they? Right here, completion providers. Maybe I want to do this. Call it add completion provider. And I want to say new file completion provider. And what are our properties here that we want to do? We want to say extension, set that equal to MP3. Like that. Here's my extension. Let's get semicolon down over here. Let's go ahead and declare this now. Good. And let's add more things right here. This is my sound folder. I have a feeling I'm going to refactor this in a little bit, but we'll keep going here. Like, so what is it? The base folder is equal to sound folder, comma, allow subfolders is equal to true, like that. I keep hitting a semicolon. I should train myself not to do that. There's another ancestor property here. Provider name is equal to, what is it? Completion provider names dot sound file. Okay. What else? What else is missing here? Nothing else? Okay. So there's that. Trigger key is in there. Hold on. Why didn't I see that before? Trigger key. Oh, comma. I need the comma out here. That's what my problem is. Trigger key equals, and we're going to say a quote. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So that'll give that there. Hey, Ostale Matola says, my gifted license for Code Rush expired, so I just bought the next year. Thanks for introducing me to this extension. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, Mr. Smoofy, I like your suggestion. There's a reason. It's called I'm not as good as you. That's the reason right there. I like that. Let's definitely, that's an improvement. We'll fix that. All right. So now we've got these pieces right here. That's add completion provider. So we've got that. The sound path actually has two different trigger keys. It's a / or the quote. I am going to go into the sound completion provider, the file completion provider. Let's go in here. I almost think we could kind of, this is the same for any completion, any file completion provider is the same thing, is essentially the same situation. So I'm going to say, hey, if last key pressed equals that, or last key pressed is equal to / right? Is that what we're using? I think we're using / like that. Then we're going to say essentially true, I think. Whoa! Holy cow. All right. This is probably going to be a really hard to reproduce bug. Let's take a look at this one too. So here I am right here, and I typed in R for return. Will it reproduce? Roll back just a couple seconds. When I did it before, I was up here editing. I was like, this came down R. Yeah, it's selected down here instead of the false. So I'm going to say return true. Yeah, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. All of this we're going to get rid of. And instead, I'm going to do this. Return this. Put that in parens. And parameter I don't know. That's all we need. Just that. We don't need the parens. We're going to do that. We still need to sync it up to get the right piece in there. I'm going to keep this commented for a second here. Should complete. Let's go find the call to should complete. Here it is right here. Invoke code completion if necessary. Text entered. How do I get my parameter number? Let's go look at find that. There it is. Let's start here. Okay. Get parameter number at position. And that's inside the text completion engine. Guess what's going to my new extension class? This one is. All right, so let's, and this one. Anything else above? Yeah, those are all going to go into my extension. You get identifier left up. Taking all of these, and I'm going to move those to my extension method. Text document extensions. Right here. Just put these in here. I think we'll get them all to compile. What's happening here? Why can't I find this? That's an extension method. Is it that we're just not using that? It's probably the D&D core piece that we need to add. Is it in D&D core? I think it's in D&D core. Is that going to find it? That looks like that found it. Okay. is identifier character. Need to come back over and find that. Anybody else calling this from here? Is identifier key? I'm not sure whether I should make this an extension method on char. Put it in a separate own utility piece. I'm leaning towards that. Code utils, dot. Give me a new static class. That. Oops. Code utils is what I decided to call it. There we go. All right, move type to file. All right, we need to come in. Let's turn these into extension methods now. Also spec'd out a new navigation feature, something I've been kind of working on off and on. I've kind of had a need for it, and I've worked on it a little bit. But I'm actually excited for it to be done. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. I kind of finally figured out the right beautiful way to do it. That's kind of what this basically allows me to kind of jump from here to here to here to here immediately, but also be able to jump from here to here immediately, and also to jump from that selection to that selection immediately. That sort of thing, or from this selection to this selection immediately, right? So that's kind of what I've spec'd out. So, all right, so now we've got all these thises in here. Let's go look at our error list, see what we got. What's my problem here? Okay, we did not ever finish this, did we? Or did we just undo it? Yeah, it looks like we kind of undid it maybe, or maybe we deleted. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh. It doesn't, or does it? Wait, now it's working. That's weird. I just had an error and then came back and it's like, oh yeah, it's working now, I think. Okay, where are the rest of our errors? Okay. Like that. Right? Better. This, we're going to need to move this over here. Okay. And this one. Okay. So those pieces have been refactored. We need to, let's see. So here's my creating the code completion providers. Here we need to come in and say completion providers.add. I'm anticipating I might want to change this, so I'm kind of decoupling it from the other method. That's why I don't have a bunch of, you know, calls here to it. I think I may come in here and want to do something with this. Okay. Next we need to, let's go look at get custom attribute, I think is what I'm searching for. Not here. To the main window. There it is. Get parameter tooltip. Okay. All right, get active method call. We need to bring that into document as an extension method as well. All right, there's my extension method, get active method call. Hasn't found the problem yet, apparently. Okay, there it is right there. Okay. So this is going to give me the active method call. So I kind of want using the active method call here to get the function. So that gives me the active D&D function. I'm going to extract this to its own method. Like that. All right. I think I want to promote this to a parameter right here. Oh, I can't promote that? All right, coder's feature request. Guys, I want to be able to promote this to a parameter. I'm right here. I want to be able to hit the coder's key and find promote to parameter. The code I want to create is something that looks like this. Like that, and then in the call to get active D&D function, it would pass in this. That's what I'm looking for. Looks like text area is the wrong type. What's the type of it? It says it's text area. It's maybe just I'm missing a using in here. Okay. Does that take care of everything? That makes everybody happy. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to have, you know, the left side of a dot delimited qualified expression and promote just that part I select to a parameter. Okay. Promote dot delimited, or maybe better to say qualified expression to a parameter. All right, put that out in the chat room. There it is right there. It's going to, we're dog fooding Code Rush kids, by the way, and sometimes we find feature requests like that. Sometimes we, it's like VS at Visual Studio is unresponsive here. Not great. Yep, VS is busy. We've seen this before. Yeah, it's ever since we updated to the new version. No update yet, but I'm totally anticipating a new version to come down. Let's go ahead and mark the issue right here. So we just reported an issue, and we've got a lockup here as we're editing. I recall looking into this. We basically looked into this before. We created a when this happened. It wasn't on the stream, but I opened up a second instance of Visual Studio, and I attached the first instance, got a bunch of data from it, and our devs were like, "Yeah, that does not look like us." So it looks like an issue. It was not us. But let's try it. We'll just do this right now. Attached process. Grab the dev-env. Check to see, make sure it's still not responsive. Not responsive. Break all. And there's my call stack. The suggestion before was that there was it was WPF issue with the designer. That's what was the expected piece in here. But let's do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up all of these threads so we have all of these call stacks. I'm going to grab all of this data. We're going to send this to the devs one more time, have them take a look at this, and we will also send it to Microsoft so we figure out what is going on. And we'll have the CodeRush logs to go with that and the recorded video. So I'm just opening each one of these up because I'm going to select the whole thing, copy it, so that all the data is here. I'm not sure of another one. I'm pretty sure I have to open them up if I do that. There we go. They're all open now. I'm worried that if they're closed, they're not going to. It's not going to work. Okay. So this is our threads. Like that. Verify the other instance is still totally locked up. Yeah, I just alt-tab to it. It's not even showing. Yeah, it's not there. All right. Let's see what we got here. Report a new problem. Search first. No, I'm not going to do that. Just got it. All right. Here we go. VS locked up. Yep, it did. Last work on whatever's before. I don't know. I have no idea. Don't have any idea. I didn't keep track of my last version. Attached with another process. CodeRush is loaded. Here's the threads. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I want to save that file. So I've got that here. Let me save this. Let's throw it. Oh no, I'll just stick it here for now. Wait, no, I've got a. I've got a better place for this. I've got a place where I stick bugs for Microsoft. There we go. I'm going to call this. Yeah, I got a second. I already have one freeze out here before in here, so we're going to call this 16.6.2 freeze again. Put it there. Threads. that. Let's do an attachment. Threads are attached. Please lock up while editing. Didn't explode. It's just still locked and frozen. There we go. All right. Next, attachments. Let's go grab that. Dropbox, DX, bugs from Microsoft. There's the threads. I'm going to say next on that. I'm going to say, wait, is there anything else on attachments? Screenshot doesn't make sense. Not really, can't really record steps either. Attach system logs, you bet. And submit. Okay. Status updates or new comments. Good. All right, good. So that one is done. We've reported that to Microsoft. And I've got the data and I can report that to our devs as well, which I think I'm in the process of doing, as I recall. Did I type in CR issue start? I did. So that's good. We can continue on here, actually, and yeah, so it's still totally locked up. I'm going to go ahead and detach, because at this point, we're going to have to kill that and restart is what we're going to have to do. There's just no way out. It looks like a thread lock. Before they were suggesting it was WPF tap, and they were suggesting I disconnect my XAML hot reload, but I was not running. I didn't have the app running at this time, so I don't know if that makes sense or not. Okay, so looks like we lost maybe a little bit of work, but probably not much. Hopefully that one is going to be recoverable as well. So let me finish the reporting of the issue. BS lockup again. Yeah, I've had a number of problems with this latest build, and I'm totally like anticipating that Microsoft's going to get an update out any second on this, but it has not happened yet. I've not seen that. Okay, let's kill it. Why do I have two instances up? Oh, I see why. I've got a second one here. All right. Now I just want to kill that one. While it's dying, I'll start up anew. Is that really not closed by now? Did I not click it? It's suspended. That's like really doesn't want to die. Ooh, maybe I should have created a dump file of it. There we go. Now it's dead. Okay. New instance. D&D app. Load it up. You bet I want to recover. Ooh, a lot of files open. That's a little disheartening. Okay. So get my bearings back. Get back to where we were. These are the extension methods. Get out the method call. Back to the D&D function. What's interesting is I didn't see any of these in the last instance of Visual Studio, but now I'm seeing them. I didn't see any of these. These, I bet we get a number of these. Get active D&D function. That's in main window. I now want to put this somewhere else. Not here. I think I want to get it in the I want to put it there. Get active D&D function. All right, good. So now we can come in and get the active function. And I think related to this, I actually want to get I want something that gets me the active editor. Is what I want it to do. We're going to go find where those are. I think those are, we're in the template engine, but I think I didn't put them here, no. Text completion engine, I think I put it over here. Yeah, so this is kind of where we were. So I think I want to do something like this. I want to say, it's on the right spot. I'm starting to feel, that's in the template engine. I'm in the text completion engine. This needs to move to the text completion engine. Yeah, where's my text complete? Do I have an access to reference to my text completion engine? Is it property? It is. Sweet. Okay, good. We're just going to change that over. We'll move that. Let's dive in here first. Come back out. Okay. All right, so now that's in there. Okay, now we're in the right spot, as I recall. Yeah, there we go. So here we're coming in through here. We're invoke code completion if necessary. So at this point, let me see who calls this. There we go. When text is entered, we're calling it, and we call it manually from where? Oh, from the code completion. So let's move this to its own file as well. Show tooltip command. There it is right there. Code completion. I think I want to create a new folder. called text commands. The completion command. Show tooltip command. And the caret command. Where is that? There it is right there. These can actually go up here. Okay, good. Right there. What are you doing, Pudding? Why am I looking so flat? It's weird. You squish. You squish me. That's what the SQ at the end is. I gotcha. I think you're right. That's how I would look if I was squished. Okay. Good. Good. Closing this down. Good. Those classes are nice. I like the size of those classes. Template engine, I think, is where we want to be. Nope, it's not that. It's the text completion engine. There it is, right there. Okay. Don't want to give him ideas. Oh, I hope Zephyr's not watching this. Yeah, you're right. Don't give Zephyr any ideas. What is it? Is it Wednesday? We've got a episode of Dragon Hunters tonight. That's right, we do. Look out for it. There you go, right there. Live comedy, Dungeons & Dragons, with over-the-top special effects, built right here on this show every Wednesday and Sunday. It means it's tonight. There's your times right there. Go out there, give us a follow. I think we're funny. We do a not bad job of being funny, and so do the people in it, including Pudding, who shows up as well to watch that show. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you there, Pudding. All right, so here we're creating it. We've created only one. I now want to look up the provider name with, I want to match the provider name is what I want to do. Where's provider name? Where's that declared? That's in the completion provider. Perfect. So provider name, is it in the iCompletion provider though? I don't think it is, and it should be. Okay. So there's my provider name. So now what I want to do is here, I want to check to see if completion provider dot provider name equals expected provider name. So if, oh, you know what? I've got a has something on this that you can bring up. Has something. I thought I got to. Can I do a using on this, or do I gotta go find it? No, it's not gonna know. Oh, because it doesn't know what this is yet. Hold on. There, now it's got has something. Okay, so if it's got something and the name matches, let's change it. If we don't have anything, oh, now I'm back to the positive of it. Whoops. Is null or empty. So if we're null or empty, or the completion provider is equal to expected provider name, then we can come down to the next level and call the completion window. We want to break out of this loop because we found it and we're done. The expected provider name, we need to go get that. And I guess I want to say get active provider is what I want to create. Get active provider name. So call it MS, method that returns a string. Get active provider name. Parameter. Completion provider name. We're going to start by getting the active D&D function. We need to pass in the text area. Declare local. Get active D&D function. If it's empty, we're going to return empty string. Next, we need to figure out our parameter order. What is it? Get parameter. It's in text area dot document. It's an extension method. Get parameter number at position. And then we're going to, what do we need? We need to pass in text area here. And caret offset. Text area dot caret dot offset. By the way, I like the architecture of the Avalon edit control. I think it's pretty good. So there's my parameter number. If parameter number is less than or equal to 0, then we're out. So now we got our parameter number. We need to go into our function. We need to go get a custom attribute on this thing. Declare that local. Whoa, why isn't declare local available there? What's wrong? That's what I'm looking for. It needs a Boolean, I think. Is that right? Is that my problem? I don't know. I think I'll say true. Now what's my problem? Cannot be used with type arguments. Is it not wanting a get type call? That doesn't make sense at all. Now what is it? Oh, that's not what I'm expecting. Why is this so hard to get the list of the attributes here? I want to see if I'm using this elsewhere in the code. Well, I can do that. I'm suspecting. Here we go. I was going to say, here we go, but that's the line of code I'm writing. Yeah, I got to do this. I'm expecting, it's so interesting. Really interesting. Although, can I extract this into its own method? No, you should let me do that. Okay, so this is in main window. I want to go to, I think I want to put this in the text completion engine. I want to say text completion.get active parameter attribute. This and set it equal to that. And I want to pass it in this text area right here. and I want to pass in the parameter number. How are we doing this? Where are we calling this from? Actually, I am gonna maybe change this because I want code like this, but not quite. I don't want to do it based on the parameter number. Let's kind of go back to where we were. We're right in this space here. Let me paste this in a second here. What are you saying just one line of code for, Pudding? What am I messing? I feel like I'm messing something up right here. What's happening here? What? How come? How is the code working elsewhere and it's not working here? Is there something I'm missing? Is it an extension? Is that my deal? That was it. Okay, extension method. That's probably why I was having problems down below as well. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so now what I want to do. So I'm grabbing the active function right there based on where we're in. If we're not null, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to get all the custom attributes. On it. Then I want to find the parameter number. I do want to do it based on the parameter number. So we got to go get the active parameter number. So let's do that. Is it here? Get active. No, it's in. We extended document, right? So it's tbx code document get parameter number at position, and we're going to pass in the caret offset. Okay, this is a faster way to get the caret offset right from the control itself. There it is right there. So we'll get that parameter number. Actually getting close to being able to test this. Here's my parameter number. Now we're getting down to the parameter attribute. And now if we get to this point, then we can actually say the expected provider name is equal to param attribute dot editor. Wow, a lot of code, right? We just wrote code for about an hour just to get to this point right here. So let's do this. Can I not extract that method? Why is an extract method available to me here? Now I'm just like stunned. All right, let's do it by hand. Okay. I want a breakpoint here for sure. And we still don't have complete done yet. And so we kind of need to work on that. We can do that, I think, through using edit and continue. Let's see if we've got a build. I don't think I need this anymore. That was kind of the purpose of the code above. Okay, kill that. Last error is that on the sound folder. That's on complete sound path, which I think is not being called anymore. So what we kind of want to do here anyway is we want to kill that, go to not here. There. That needs to be moved up here. Add some folders in here. There we go. File completion provider. Here's my complete. Oh, Jesus, really? That's what I wanted. Right there. Directory.get files, system.io. Make sure null here. There's that. We're not going to show it, but we're going to return it. So that's what we're going to do. Now the last piece here, we've got to work out the filtering pieces, the folder, the base folder extension. We got to use those pieces. So this now is going to become base folder. The filter is there. And the extension, we're going to take that extension. This is, I think, Pudding's suggestion, if I'm recalling correctly. Or no, Jetsams. Jetsams or Pudding was suggesting this earlier. I think it was Jetsam. Y's extension have a star dot in it. And so now we don't need that anymore. So we got base folder, filter, extension. Hopefully this all works, right? Should complete. There's the call there. We check to see if the name is null, or if it is not null, we make sure that the completion provider name is matching the expected provider name. This is how we're going to get that matchup now. And so what hopefully, if this works, we got to build now. Heard my name. Can't type. Yeah, I was just talking about I think it was Jetsam who asked us earlier. Or who suggested, yes, is there a reason why your extension has star dot in front of it instead of just MP3? We had star.mp3, and I think Jetsam was suggesting that, so I made that change. We're up. Let's initialize player data. Yeah, so to review, we've been working for about an hour refactoring the code. The purpose of refactoring the code is so that we can get more easily add extension providers and have an architecture that's more beautiful and less hacky. What's going on? We have that up there. We set a breakpoint. Okay. I think we come back with null. I think I want to set a breakpoint here, but conditional breakpoint if this is not equal to null. So we'll run in there. We'll keep going. So we'll just run for a while here. So now I'm going to type in ADS for add sound, hit enter, now hit the quote. Now there, I feel like we should have gotten a breakpoint. Let's try it again. Quote, not even in here. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. Smoofy said it. Mr. Smoopy said it was me. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Smoopy. I don't even understand what's going on here. Quote. Are we even getting in here? Quote. We're not even getting in here. There's another place. Complete sound path. Did we have any other code that was using that? Okay, we've got kind of a more fundamental problem here in that invoke code completion necessary is not being called as we're typing things. When was this? Where is this called from? Invoke code completion, text area entered. Code completion window is not null. That means it's already out. What's happening here? Quote, completion window is not null. I'm going to set it equal to null. Just so we can get back in there again. Sound file, good. What's my provider name? Sound file, good. Okay, should complete, yes we should. Now we're going to say, here's our completion window, null. Our completion window is now not null and has been created. We called complete. We should have actually stepped into here. Let's go back, set next statement. Let's step in. Because maybe we're just not filling it with anything. There's my character offset, get string left. So nothing's been typed in yet. Full pattern, sound effects start at MP3, folder name, there it is right there. 47 files, 20 directories. That's all good. Completion window is a new completion window. Adding the data, this all looks good. And returning the completion window. Oh, wait, I know what's wrong. We're not showing it. So at the end of complete sound path, did I delete it? I did. We had code at the end that called show completion window. That's what we had. So what we need is the same thing here. We need to say show completion window, pass in completion window. And we need one more, just a null check on that, because this could be null coming down here in it. We don't know if it's going to be created or not. So actually, this needs to be inside this else block right there. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so there's my call to show completion window. And in here, I just want to check to see if window is null and get out early if it is, like that. Okay, All right, let's run it again. Let's see what happens. Is that going to fix it? Let's clear my breakpoints. It feels like it's working based on the code. Oh, come on. When we've even killed this, ADS, because the completion window has been created but not shown, I think. That's my problem, I think. Let's set it to null again. We might have another problem where why aren't we showing the completion window? Oh wait, complete identifier. Oh no, we're calling it from here. Show completion window. All right, good. So that's good. I am kind of wondering if I'm having a problem. I don't think this is it, but I'm wondering if I'm having a problem that has to do with switching focus away. So I'm going to disable all my breakpoints and run. And yeah, my hunch is I'm going to try a restart. And if this is reproducing, hey, beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll be off by one. Do my best. Just Karen Manchcotti, right in there. Just showing up. You want to say hi with more than just the top of your head?
I don't know how.
There you go. There she is, kids.
Here I am, kids. Oh, wow. I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, isn't it? Like what does it smell like?
It does smell like
Chlorine.
here.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Why?
They smell like that after they clean the air conditioner.
Oh, right.
Okay, so
He is on the show.
yeah, it kind of looks like a refresh. Restarting is what we needed. So add sound. Do the quote. Not working there. That's what I'm hoping. Come down. Did I kill it now? And it's dead. So it works the first time. Completion window. What is my problem? I feel like my hunch is the completion window is empty of suggestions. All right, I kind of want to yeah, this code seems to work. Problem. That's my problem right there. I'm setting window to null, but not the actual variable to null. So I don't need to pass it in as a parameter. Let's do this. I think Karen just left a dog in here with me. I'll have to get that out in a second. But let's do that. Do that. Are we still going to work? Let's compile, run. I'm going to get the dog out of here. Be right back. Uh-oh. What is it? There we go. Is that enough? Not enough. Oh, wait. We do have a problem. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna let the dog out. Here you go. Good dog. Oh, that's why I made it a parameter. Let's see if we can work our way around that. I think we're going to need to no, wait, is it not? No, we're in the same place. Maybe I am okay. Show completion window. There. Everywhere I call it. Let's do this. Let's shift F12 on this. Get all the references up here to it. Make sure they're on the same file. Really? Okay. I'm going to run it. I think there's a shot this is going to work. And I actually believe that this line of code is going to work too. There we go, look at that. The back / brings it up as well. Nice. Nice. Yeah. It's totally working. Totally working. And now what's cool about that is that the binding for this, let's go look at this. In our completion providers, we added a file completion provider here. This is how we're now declaring it. We say the provider name, we set it up here, code completion provider names, sound file. And if we look at this, this one's also bound right over here inside of the add sound D&D function for the first parameter. So I say in that first parameter, there's the binding to the helper for that, the completion helper. What's cool about this is I think, how much time do we have? We have about 15 minutes before I'm going to get out of here. Let's try one more. There is a feature called add spell hit effect. And this takes a string. This string, dense smoke fireball, and I think you're going to see it in this list right here. There it is, dense smoke. Fireball, right there. These are the valid strings. These are based on animations that I've created. Out of these, by the way, for spell hits, you really don't need the blood ones. Those are just happen to be there for shooting blood out when a player takes damage. To demonstrate that, come in here, say damage, 22, inflict damage. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, let's add some health. There we go. Okay. So we don't really need those, but we do need these. What I want to do is I want to create an editor now that's going to suggest these things for a string. That's what I want to do. Let's see if I can get that. We can build that in the next 15 minutes. So we need a new add completion provider here. And this one is going to be a text list completion provider. And it needs to know nothing about that, those things. Provider name is going to be I think animation name, like that. That's what I think it's going to be. So we'll go into sound file here. We'll dive into that. We'll duplicate that line, paste there, and sure, animation name, like that. Next, we want to go to that function. Yeah, this is a test of how good the new architecture is. So I want to go to the function called, what is it? Add spell hit effect. Effect name. So required is there, and then we're going to say completion provider names dot animation name. Maybe I'll change this to effect name, animation effect name, like that. Let's drill into it and change it to that. So there's my new provider name. And there it is there, animation effect name. Trigger key is going to be the quote because it's a string. And then I want to say list equals, and I think what I want to do is just give it a, I want to do something like this. And do I want to separate these with semicolons? I kind of feel like I do for readability. Oh, look at this. Can I put a semicolon here? Okay. Smart semicolon issue with CodeRush. Edge case bug, but let's report it. Here it comes. All right, kids, I'm here. Granted, I do have code that doesn't compile, but I'm in a string here. And I hit the semicolon, because I need a semicolon here, and it puts me out at the end, right there. It adds a new semicolon. So I guess two things. Smart semicolon should not add another semicolon if there's already one there. And number two, if I'm in a string, or alternatively, since I say I'm not in that string, let's comment all of this out for a second. Let's say I'm in a comment as well, right? And I type in a semicolon like now, well, at least that works. Is it going to work if I'm inside here and I type a semicolon? Wow, is this really a CodeRush bug? Because the string is not complete. I'm going to go ahead and say it is, but it's minor edge case. It might be easy to fix. If it's easy to fix and safe to fix, fix it. That's what I would suggest. So again, if I'm here and I type in a semicolon, I guess I have to be at the end of the line. There, now it jumps me down out here. So I'm at the end of the line. There it is again. You ever see every time I'm hitting a semicolon, it keeps adding them down here. That's what I don't want it to do. At the very least, there's that. Semicolon doesn't do anything here because you can see I'm in a comment. Good. Okay, so that's the bug. Let me... Smart semicolon in string initializer plus an initializer. Let's do that. Smart semicolon, two issues. And initializers, like that. Let's pop it in here. There we go, issue's been reported. All right, so now what I think I'm gonna do is do this. Just get that list of items there. You bet. Let's do that. Mr. Snoopy. Thanks so much. That should be. Also, you can type that in if I'm not looking, and right. I should just use search and replace to get the rest of these, although I don't really need the blood pieces here. So we'll just do that for now. So that's going to be my list. And the trigger key is that. And then we need a text list completion provider. Let's go declare that. It has it as a file completion provider descendant. I'm going to descend from character trigger. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Is add completion provider take a file completion provider? Is that what the problem is? That's my problem. Okay. Let's change it to maybe not even a character trigger provider, but maybe a completion provider. Okay. Go back to my text list one. There's my list. Got CodeRush features to fix this. Yeah, convert to auto implement property. Same thing, do this on all three of these here. Like that. Okay, now we got the implementers in there. Should complete. I think I want a setter on this. Sorry, not here, here. Let's do this. Add a setter guard clause. And then I want to do this. And then I want to say, hey, look, list dot split on the semicolon. Like that. Declare it. Blood entries. And actually, I think I can come in here and do a dot select. Nope. Select. And where you just trim it like that. We need a test scroll up. Yeah, that would need a plugin inside of Visual Studio. Well, we can also just do it and send a message to me, scroll up. Let me make a note of that. Coding Gorilla. Let me think about how we're going to implement that. I don't think, I think you're absolutely right. So there's my select. So now I'm getting the trim of each one of those. And I think I'm going to do it to lists right there. And then let's declare local on that. What? No local? Declare local there? There it is. Okay. And we're going to call this entries. And let's use CodeRush to promote field on that. Like that. So now I've got my entries. Okay, now that I have my entries, my should complete I think it is. I'm going to return the base should complete here. Hold on. We got a spec feature request. All right, kids, look at this. I'm inside an overridden method. I'm calling base dot. I'm grabbing should complete. Yeah, I think so, Mr. Smoofy. Yes, entries should be loaded from somewhere else. I'm thinking about loading them from a Google Sheet. That's where I'm thinking about putting them. But right now, I'm just adding it in the code to make sure it all works. But yeah, I think we'll do that, and we probably will do that tomorrow. We'll bring them in from another file, I think. Okay, should complete. Watch this. So here's the feature request, devs. Should complete. Look, I'm here. It takes 2 parameters, text area, last key press of type text area and char. Look at what I've got here, right? If I'm in an override and I'm calling base, is it really best to not give me those? Shouldn't it give me as suggestions this right here with text field around that and a semicolon? That's what I should have. If I've got base.shouldComplete here, in other words, I'm calling my base from here, it should suggest these to give these to me as optionals but I can hit enter on them. It should do this. I think that there are opportunities to intelligently fill in parameters for calls based on where we are. And one of the guiding constraints I would suggest is closest in proximity, in scope, to where you are. So if I've got a local of type text area down in here, my text area 2 or something like that, then it would suggest that one instead. Okay? But still mark it as a field. That's the feature. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me give you a feature request end tag on that so you can see it. And we're going to call this parameter argument completion, argument assist completion for IntelliRush. Like that. That's what we're going to call that. Let me put that in the chat room. All right. Okay. So get rid of this. Come back over here. We're just going to call should complete. That should match up the last key press, see if it's the quote, and if it is, it's going to return true. Then in the completion window, this is where we have to build the pieces up. Let's go tab to next reference, find the other implementation of that in the sound window, see what we're doing here. Cool, we can get rid of these two. We're going to do this and that. That's what we're doing. That's kind of what we need over here. So now we're going to do this, and then we're going to go through our entries. And instead of saying file completion data, this should be, do I have a text completion data? I don't. That's what I want. Like that. We don't need this. All right, let's go find our file completion data and look at what's special about it. What other implementers of this thing do we have? All right, so it looks like we're going to make a new one. Selection increase, duplicate, and call it text. Completion data. Text completion data is not going to take the path, but it's going to take the entry, I guess we'll call it. We're going to change this to entry. And we don't need that anymore. The content is going to return the entry, not the text. Let's just rename this to entry, like that. I'm going to get rid of, I think, one of these. That should fix it. No. It's got to be text. to implement completion data. So, in fact, we'll just turn this to text as well. I didn't notice when this popped up. Let's mark an issue here. Let's open the log file. Got a code rush error in here. Got a number of code rush errors right here on this, in the log file. Now we're getting into some more nasty stuff here. All right, I'm going to take that activity log. I'm going to send that out to you as well, kids. Invalid. Okay, I'm gonna go mute, kids. I'm gonna keep coding for a little bit. I'm going mute because my wife's using the same studio, sharing it with me. She's about to start teaching. Yeah, didn't want to hurt your art kit. So I'm gonna go mute. After I'm done testing the test one, we will raid you over to another folks. So apologies for being quiet here, but you can listen to music or find one of the other live coders out there. Thanks so much. Wait.